Training partners. We're ready.
Welcome to Training Partners, where two fitness professionals bring you strong takes held loosely. I'm Weezy Shoemaker, and I'm joined by Justin McClintock. And today we'll be bringing you some strong takes on I don't know what.
Yeah,
Justin,
that's
what
right. I didn't even tell you, did I?
I have no idea what we're talking about today.
Yeah. I think you have a hint. There was like some social media stuff going around I
Right.
saw you raise an eyebrow at.
Right.
How are you, friend?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm good. Coming off a long weekend, which with children is a little different than without children.
For sure.
But
I would
we're
imagine.
here. We're in one piece. We had some friends over. Everybody's well rested.
And
No
that's
complaints.
pretty solid.
Yeah. Yeah. Taylor Swift did not announce Reputation Taylor's version, so like I'm a little heartbroken today.
Mhm. She didn't even show up at the
no,
AMAs.
She didn't even show.
Now.
But she also didn't win anything. She was nominated, I think, in 7 categories. She didn't win a single thing. I was like, oh.
I've only seen tiny bits. Like I've seen, clips about the AMA, and it looks weirdly underproduced and low budget, and like something else was going on because a bunch of people weren't there.
Right.
And a bunch of performances were pre-recorded.
Yeah.
And which is like fine, but not usually what you get at that level of production.
Yeah. J-Lo's like intro was the most interesting performance that there was. Well, Benson Boone's was pretty good too, but he's always like very Freddie Mercury about it.
Energetic guy.
Right. But it was underwhelming. SZA was one of the only like recipients who was actually there, which was kind of wild.
That's something else must be going on because it's usually it's not like the Grammys, but it's big and can usually like pull some people, which also pulls the crowd. And like the fewer famous people show up, the fewer people are going to watch because the red carpet and all the schmata that's around it is part of the draw. Or like, what's Billie going to do on her live performance that'll be cut out afterward or any of that stuff.
Wasn't there.
Or Lady
Straight
Gaga.
Up wasn't there.
Yep.
Yeah.
All these famous people didn't show up at the AMAs.
Right. And some of them had like very legitimate reasons, like Billie's on tour right now.
Sure.
Right? Like, what are you going to do? Halt your tour so that you could come accept like a fan awarded category, or give back to your fans by having a tour weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Which is but that's also a scheduling thing, right? Like they know a year in advance when they're having this, and they know who they want. And this tour was planned. Like it's not easy, but a lot of things can be accomplished with scheduling and private jets.
Right.
So many things are possible.
Right. So
not that we're endorsing all of it, but it is possible.
It is possible. It is possible. So
famous people stuff.
We did watch the entire show live and just kind of like, like we paid for Paramount Plus for that. Wow.
$7.99 well spent, or whatever it is.
$12.99 because it had to be the one with Showtime. Premium. Robbed.
Not sure I knew Showtime still existed.
Apparently, they've got to deal with Paramount Plus.
No. Good for them. Good for Showtime. Why not?
Good for Showtime.
Yeah.
What's the last Showtime thing you watched?
Wow. I mean, so I didn't have cable growing up. I didn't have premium cable growing up, for sure.
Sure.
My memory of Showtime is really like going to a friend's house who had HBO and Showtime and Cinemax, and like basically having sleepovers, because like they would like sometimes show stuff after 9 p.m. that an 11-year-old Justin was extremely excited about.
Right.
And that's probably very unfairly, but my association with Showtime is like, hard R-rated movies that I got to see because we found an excuse for a sleepover, and that's all we wanted to do.
Sure. Got it.
I don't know. I mean, I couldn't even tell you anything that Showtime has produced lately.
I was a Dexter fan.
Oh, yeah. I saw some of Dexter. It was really good. I kind of bounced off of it, but it was enjoyable. See, I didn't even know that was Showtime.
Yeah, it was Showtime. Michael C. Hall, who was Dexter, like kind of bounced around Showtime and HBO. 6 Feet Under was before Dexter.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, people love that.
Mm-hmm. We're watching it now for the first time, actually.
I like going back and watching series kind of after they're done or after they have a bunch of seasons under their belt, because it can also I have a completionist part of me which is not always healthy. But I'm like, oh look, great, Star Trek. I'm going to watch all of the Star Treks. Oh, good. This. I'm going to watch all of, fill in the blank.
Right.
And we have a category of show that we call the crocheting/knitting shows.
Sure.
Which are like fine and good.
Right.
They're not bad. But she can totally like crochet and take her eyes off of it for a while, and that's okay, as opposed to, some shows where you really have to follow every second because something visual is going to happen that radically changes it, or they're very intense.
Right.
The ideal for us is something episodic that we enjoy, like some kind of like detective procedural that I dig on, where it's like, hey, here we are. Oh, look, it's our cool lady detective. Oh, it's her knuckleball buddy friend and the guy who works in the mortuary she doesn't get along with. A crime happened, a thing. Oh my goodness, a twist, a what?
Yeah.
Small amount of family drama. We solve it and we're out. And the next time that case never happened. We don't talk about it again. We're just back to our cool lady detective and her knuckleball partner. And like, I don't want the long, everything has like a long arcing narrative arc through the whole thing. Now I'm like, no, I don't want to keep track of your mentally unstable uncle. I just want to watch the thing.
Sure. Are you talking about Bones?
Watched all of Bones. That's not true. We bounced off Bones, like, I couldn't tell you, but somewhere in like the 6th or 7th season, it went from look at all these smart people. I feel like in like 4 episodes, they turned everyone into a mom. Suddenly, everyone was either pregnant or adopted a kid or whatever, and that became their entire personality.
Yep.
And I found it a real bummer, as did Rebecca.
Right.
And we watched like one more episode, and we're like, they broke Bones. We're out. That's too bad.
Yeah.
Same thing actually just happened with Doctor Who. Not mom stuff, but Doctor Who, like the new run of Doctor Who, which started 7 or 8 years ago, I think. Watched all of them, loved it, would wait for it to be available on like Prime or whoever was showing it. And last year or the year before, Disney bought Doctor Who. So it was like a Disney/BBC thing, but Disney was at the helm.
Sure.
And I watched the new one. You're like, okay, brand new doctor, cool. Just smiling guy, seems happy. Like, the show is really bright, and it's the quality is a little like video, but it's weird. There was a full musical number in the middle, which was a little weird and didn't have to be there. We're like, okay, maybe this is this zany bad guy character. And we're like, okay, that was fine. And you watch the second episode, and more zany characters and another musical number. And I was like, oh, they broke Doctor Who. I haven't gone back.
That's a bummer. That's one we haven't gotten into. I am excited to close the book on The Handmaid's Tale today.
I read it, but I haven't watched it.
We accidentally skipped the entire last season. Didn't even know it had come out.
Oh, okay.
And then heard all of the fanfare about this final season, and then jumped back in and realized at the recap at the beginning of the first episode, like, oh shit, I think we're behind.
Good news. There's lots of Handmaid's Tale.
Good news. There's lots to watch. So, we did manage to catch up, and so hopefully they don't break it. Hopefully it's a good ending. We'll see.
I mean, they certainly had an awful lot of awesome stuff to build on.
Yeah.
They had a pretty amazing starting point. Should we get into what we came here to talk about?
Yeah, I have no idea what it is. Well, I've had like a margin of idea. What are we talking about today, Justin?
So we're talking about, I called this one Trainers, the Good, the Bad, and the Weird. And I thought we would use this to sort of talk about sort of best, worst, and unstable practices around training/coaching. This could be group, 101, remote, however people are training and coaching, however people are getting trained and getting coached.
Sure.
I think it all kind of counts.
Sure.
And I did put up a couple of Instagram polls over the last little while, kind of gathering stories from people. And I've tried to put it into categories.
Yep.
And sort of subcategories. And I thought we could use that at least as a jumping off point.
I love it. Is it fair to assume that this could be both helpful to a coach who's listening of like, hey, I want to sharpen my craft. What are some best and maybe worst practices? Or maybe a gym owner, some things to hold your coaches accountable to, as well as when you're looking for a coach, having maybe a framework of some questions to ask and things to be looking out for.
Yeah,
Is that
exactly
fair?
right. So we're trying to be helpful to kind of everybody.
Yeah.
People who are looking for a coach / have a coach, and maybe there's a question of like, I think this is really great. I wonder if everyone does this, or this rubs me the wrong way. I wonder if this is the standard practice.
Sure.
And certainly for other trainers and coaches and gym owners, 100%. Good news with a lot of this stuff is you don't need to be in the middle of the session to comprehend it, I think.
Right.
I think a lot of it, surprisingly, you can just tell by kind of watching and being around these people and their practices.
Great. Let's get into it.
So I thought we'd start with the good, mostly because in my responses, I guess not surprisingly, but I got a bunch of good. I got some weird. I got a ton of bad, which is, remember, and I tell younger coaches this all the time, people remember the bad stuff.
Right.
You can have all the good times in the world and you do one crazy thing and you're going to be the person who did that crazy thing. That's just what people remember.
Right.
So good. Overwhelmingly, I found that they all kind of came down to, or most of them came down to, communication and curiosity. Being a good communicator and being curious will get you a really long way. I have a whole lot of notes, but some of them are sort of in the first or second person because people sent me all their answers and all their stories. I've stripped out any identifying information, I hope. So that's why some of this sounds the way it does. One that came up over and over again was setting expectations for both client and coach. And I got this around, what are we going to be doing? What's the session look like? What kind of exercises are we doing? What kind of communication should I expect from you? Like, telling people up front what's going to happen, what you're going to do, what it's going to look like, what they should expect, makes everyone feel better. And if you don't know, say that. This is what we're going to do on day one. We're doing that because I need to find out A, B, and C. And then we're going to kind of figure it out.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. And also, I think when we're talking about a remote client relationship, this is like make it or break it in client success, setting that up front. Like if you know, hey, I'm only ever at my computer in the afternoon, your brand new client needs to know that they probably won't get feedback from you in the mornings.
Yeah. Because if they send you a message at 8 p.m. the night before, and then at 6 a.m., and then at 9 a.m., and then at noon, suddenly this person is like, this coach isn't even paying attention to me.
What am I paying for?
Yeah.
Right.
And if you say, I open my laptop at 1 o'clock, and then lock down, focus in, do not disturb, and you're all I think about for the next 3 hours, then you know that. I got sort of a sub thing on this that came up a couple of times was reverse engineering what basically like the client journey was going to be. I don't know, we've talked about this thing, but we're going to work together. This is your goal, unless it really is like a 6-week fix kind of thing, which they do exist. But these are the processes we're going to go through. We're going to hit this level and take it for a while, and then hit this level and take it for a while, and hit this level, and then you're going to fire me because you're so happy. But being able
that sounds familiar.
Yeah. Like that's the goal for I know for both of us with a lot of clients, the intent is to create as much independence as possible.
Well,
and setting that as the goal is often also very useful. And with the idea that we're working toward that, we might not be there yet.
Right. I don't want you to need me forever. Nothing sounds more exhausting to me as a coach than to kind of just perpetually have to be like creating new goals for you. It's important to me when we get to the line that you're good to take this on your own. And if you are somebody who can continue to set new goals, I'd love to continue to work with you on them if they align.
Yeah. And I always put this kind of subcategory, if we're still inspired to work with each other.
Right.
And we both are inspired to do it, high five.
Right.
And we'll say at any point, we might decide it's not the right thing anymore.
Right.
And that's not personal. It's just not the right thing anymore. And that's totally okay.
Right.
Under this expectations kind of thing, I also put several people brought up basically being on time / staying on schedule. Clients showing up and sitting around for a 7 a.m. and the coach slamming through the door at 7:01.
Right.
And it's just such a bad look. Does 1 minute matter? Of course not. It's a terrible look.
I couldn't tie my shoes fast enough to beat you here.
Yeah. And I didn't plan for it. And that's where I think it falls down. Right? If someone is always on time and always early and suddenly they're 5 minutes late.
Right.
You're not going to roll your eyes. Most people are going to say, "Oh, is everything okay?" If you're always barely on time, it takes, a small someone else having a small fender bender and you having to go 3 blocks out of your way to ruin your schedule, which just speaks to poor planning. The staying on schedule thing I also got from several people, RE group classes. Like, I'm supposed to be out of this class at 5:30 p.m. It's 5:33 and we're still working out and I have a thing to get to. What the hell? I thought this class ended at 5:30.
Right. I see that a lot in CrossFit scenarios, particularly, right? Like, you've got to work out with a 24-minute cap and it's 21 to the hour and coach is counting 3, 2, 1. What are you doing?
Yeah, we already know this isn't going to work.
This isn't going to work.
Why are we pretending it's going to work?
Right.
You're just hoping everyone's going to be fast, but you didn't change the cap. You haven't adjusted for reality. So I'm anxious now.
Right. Or even to just say, because I think any coach has done this at some point, right? I realize, crap, I've mismanaged the clock, or maybe I had a new athlete in class that needed a little more support and that took a little more time. Hey, gang, if anybody has a hard stop at the end of the hour, I'm going to announce at 5 till. I will help you get your gear away and we'll fist bump on the way out the door. Right.
100%. I've done exactly that. Like,
yeah.
Hey, crew.
It happens.
I messed up. This is the workout you came for. I'm going to let you do this workout. Here's how we're adjusting. And anything that I need to fix, I will fix. If you need to walk away from a pile of exercise stuff, I will clean it up after you because I made this mess.
Right. Yep. 100%.
Communication stuff. First and foremost, I know you and I have talked about this before, but it came up more than once. Asking permission for any kind of physical touch.
Oh, yeah. This is a huge one for me. Do not touch me under any circumstances without consent every time.
Every single time.
Every time.
If I could teach coaches one thing, and I don't care who you are, I don't care who the client / member / whatever is, like, it should never be a surprise.
Never.
Right. If someone flinches, you definitely already messed up.
Right. And it's better at that point to the tune of communication to say, I'm so sorry, I didn't warn you for that. Mm-hmm. I will make sure that does not happen again. Yeah,
exactly. And this doesn't have to be a 10-minute conversation. For me, it's usually like, I'm going to touch your shoulder. Is that okay?
Right.
They say yes.
It doesn't have to be, might I put my hands between your shoulder blades to cue you into blah, blah, blah.
Please sign this waiver again. The waiver's just always up on the iPad constantly.
Right. Constantly. With a yes, no for consent.
Oh, that would be amazing. That would be a thing with like certain clients. They would find it really funny. Like, I ask consent for each and everything. I'd like to give you a tactile cue. And then like the 5th time, it would just be one of those tip things where it's like 10%, 20%, 30%, just to see what they do. That's the prestige. Like consent, consent, tip. Focusing on the client and not socializing. And I saw this both one-on-one and group stuff. Keep your eyes on your work. People know when you're not paying attention to them. They can feel it. And usually they don't like it. Right.
I got no notes. The only time that I won't do that is that with not all of my clients, but some of them, where we're starting or ending the session with breath work. Right? They're going to get into a lying down position, maybe a hand on the heart, a hand on the belly. We're just working on like bringing them into a calmer state of mind before they start to train or at the end of a training session. I will say, hey, I'm not going to stand here and watch you breathe. I've got my eye on the clock. I'm going to go get a couple more things while you're just settling in for the day.
Totally.
Right? And so I'm not right here like staring at you breathing.
And you're giving them space. You're not socializing. You're not getting pulled away. You're making the deliberate decision to give someone space in a situation where they need more space. That's way
a good call
different
out.
Than someone trying to do breath work and you joking about the Eagles to the coaches across the room.
Go Birds!
Exactly. That's what you should be doing. But not socializing and not during a session. Lots of stuff about kind of just clear communication, especially in the class setting. This is what we're doing, running the group in a way that's sensible. I think we've all, I've certainly done and been a part / seen many classes where things just aren't very well organized. And then half of the time is spent either kind of rearranging equipment and gear and or explaining for the fourth time what's happening because the first 3 times weren't done particularly well.
Right.
And one of my favorite was Coach remembered my name, which is surprisingly important especially in a group setting. Like if you remember people's names, they will notice that. And if you don't, they will also notice that.
They will notice that, right? If you're never saying their name out loud and you're saying other people's names out loud, they're going to put 2 and 2 together that you don't know who they are.
Yeah. You should know. If you don't know, figure it out. If you can't figure it out, reintroduce yourself. Apologize. I'm so sorry, but we're about to do a session together and I've just forgotten your name. It's my 4th session of the day. Say whatever you need to say. But find out. Don't just hope it's not going to come up because it will. And then you're going to be in all kinds of trouble.
Right. Because they will have a question. They'll come up and be like, hey, Justin, I am struggling to find the right way to do my RDL. And then you're like, oh, I'm so glad you asked.
Buddy.
My friend, you've come to the right place.
Yeah. I worked in a gym once that they were using MindBody, I think, for their check-ins, which was kind of fine. There were a bunch of problems with it. But one thing I liked is every single person had a profile picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I was checking people in on the little tablet or phone or whatever, you would see, oh, these 15 people are signed up and here's 15 pictures. So, I've been there a while. I know the first 11 by heart. Oh, and then there's 4 names that aren't familiar. This is one drop-in and 3 people who are new to me. I'm going to stare at their pictures because people look different than their pictures. And when they walk in, I can say, oh, are you Alicia? And they say, yes.
Yes.
It's so nice to meet you, Alicia. I'm Justin. Alicia, let me know if you need anything. And now I've said your name 3 times in my desperate attempt to hammer it into my brain.
Right.
I'm not great at it. So I try. And in my head, I'm saying, Alicia, 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 while I stare at you.
Right.
Because it's important.
Ted has a really difficult time. Ted being my husband, for anybody listening who does not know that, has a difficult time remembering women's names. And as his wife, who is his life partner, I appreciate this. And also as a feminist woman, like, we got to work on that.
I have white guy face blindness, specifically like 25 to 35, 5'8" to 6'1" with dark hair.
Right. Got to be Dave.
No. Dave, Taylor, Mark, Evan, Ethan, Jacob. I don't fucking know. Like, I consistently was like, these are the people that I keep getting mixed up because they all kind of look the same. Like, they're all the same finance guy, and they aren't all in finance, obviously, but they just look like they're the same kind of short haircut and dark hair, and they're in pretty good shape, and they're pretty nice, and they're yeah, like, but I find you slightly indistinguishable.
Right. You meld together for us.
Yep. Yeah. I would always know that I would have to try harder with them than, the giant tattooed person.
Right. Right.
sort of separate section of the good stuff I labeled as all under curiosity. And remember, we're still talking good stuff.
Right.
More than one person brought up coaches who basically say, I'm not sure, let me get back to you.
Yeah.
Slash not trying to know everything.
You can't know everything. It's not possible. I've tried.
I got a bunch of really specific examples of coaches kind of noticing thing before the clients or athletes had noticed themselves, including like someone who brought up a coach who noticed an interesting tick that ended up being a neurological symptom that they ended up tracking down to some other stuff that has made their life easier now.
Yeah.
But a coach was the first person to point out, like, hey, do you know when you do pull-ups, you always do this with your head? Is there like a reason you do that, or what's up?
Yeah.
And just that active noticing.
Love it.
And paying attention and bringing up a thing that it wasn't working on her clean technique. It wasn't talking about her macros. It was like, oh, there's an interesting thing I noticed. I feel confident enough to ask a question about it because I don't know, but it will inform me about you.
Right. That also can tie back to like being present and attentive, because if you're not present and attentive, you couldn't even possibly notice.
Yep. Yeah. So much of this is paying attention and then making sure the other person knows that you're paying attention.
Right.
And a lot of curiosity stuff, it's sort of versions of ask more questions combined with being willing to experiment and try new things to solve new issues as they come up.
Right.
Not being trapped in a box, whether it's a modality or method or whatever.
Right.
Something comes up and, the solution A that works 80% of the time, this really works, and it doesn't work. And then plan B, which works the other 17% of the time, that doesn't work. And that last 3%, you might have to make some stuff up and try some things and do some research and not just saying, oh, that usually works. Or asking them to try, knees out, knees out, knees out, knees out, knees out, knees out. Okay, it's not working. They're
it's not happening.
Do something else.
Right.
Other things you think should be in the good category?
Are you asking me?
I am.
Excellent record keeping.
Good one.
How do we know if it's working if we're not keeping track? And to that end, checkpoints, right? Like if you don't have a regular cadence of gathering feedback from your client, even if you work with them in person 3 times a week, right? You still need a way for them to give you feedback in some way on their program, how they're doing outside of the sessions with you. Because remember, 3 sessions a week is like 2% of their week, roughly. Yep. So it's just a drop in the bucket. How's everything else going?
And sometimes it can be, I don't know about more important, but it's easier to overlook in person. So right. Like I've had, 3.5 hours of conversation with this person this week. Totally. Surely I'm caught up. Totally. No, you might be doing the same thing that happens with remote clients where they're kind of too close to the program.
Right.
To see the progress or lack of progress or other issues that are coming up.
Yeah.
So find a space where you can step back and look at it. Same thing with feedback. Find a space where you can step back and ask for broad feedback on how things are going or things you like or things you hate, because you're busy when you're together. Things don't necessarily come up.
Right. You're maybe so granular on the micro of the session that you're not zooming out and looking at like, oh, hey, my nutrition and recovery capacity has actually plummeted over this cycle. And maybe that's why I'm not progressing in the way that I would like to be.
Yeah, completely agree. I think that's a really smart point. Bad stuff. I got a lot of bad stuff from people.
Yeah, I believe that.
I did subcategorize it, but I don't want to talk about bad stuff for an hour. So I kind of subcategorize some of them, and maybe we'll like run through a few things and then see if there's anything particular we want to talk about.
Oh, good.
So under poor communication, and there's going to be a lot of overlap on these, as you'll see, we have people being delivered a program, just saying, here's your program, without any initial question, consult, assessment. Just, oh, I hired a one-on-one coach and they sent me my program. How do they know this is how did we get here? Same thing. I got several people projecting goals onto a client when they haven't given them. One of the examples I got was a client came and said, I want to get in shape, or I'm looking for more accountability. And the coach said, great, here's your program. Whoa. Like you don't you don't really know. They said get in shape. What, that doesn't even mean anything. Like,
what shape?
Yep. Hard to cancel / opaque charging practices. Several people who felt like they couldn't stop paying / weren't clear on when they were getting charged or how much they were getting charged in what order.
Right.
Also making it hard to cancel from gyms and things like that, which is sort of it's gotten a little better in the past few years, but it's still not easy.
Right.
There's still all kinds of weird, you need to send a certified letter and nonsense.
Right. I remember when we were members at Planet Fitness, like at the time you had to physically go there in person with everybody who was on the account to the location that you signed up with.
Yeah.
And so, like, to poke a hole in this, what if Ted and I had signed up together and then got divorced, or one of us died, or we spontaneously had to move across the country because of some type of family emergency? So you're not going to cancel my membership because I am now somewhere else, or the cosigner on the account has perished. Shouldn't have to bring you a death certificate to prove that.
Yeah. Now, I remember trying to cancel a gym membership when we weren't allowed to go in gyms, and they said I had to hand deliver a certified letter. And I was like, I'm not allowed to walk in your door, am I? They said, well, no, the gym's locked right now. It's closed. Right. So what do I do? Like, well, you have to hand deliver. And we went round and round. Okay, this explains all the class action suits.
Right. Yeah. There's this is a little bit of a tangent, and I'm not going to name drop the gym because this is so egregious. But people who are listening will know. There might be like 2 or 3 people who get it. But on one of the gyms that I have been associated with in my almost 10-year career, had to fill out a cancellation. Yeah, illustrious. Had to fill out a cancellation form. And the last question on the form was, how can we be praying for you?
Okay.
And I remember I didn't know that was there until, like, I'd been there a little while. And I remember seeing somebody have just filled it out. No, thank you. And like,
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Yeah, that's not gonna, if thoughts and prayers were gonna fix me, I would be fixed. So that's sort of poor communication stuff. There was another category, which was, I put as like ignorant / dangerous. So, putting people in danger, not necessarily willfully, but bad news. I got a ton of people who had been put on like crazy low calories. Like
1,200.
1,200 and lower. I heard.
No.
Yep, I heard 1,000. From like 5'6". Like, there are human beings in the world who should eat 1,200. They're little. They're really tiny.
Yeah,
people.
They're my children's size.
Yeah. They're very little. It's not most humans, and it was a failed, like, they did a cut and it quote unquote didn't work, and they did a cut and it quote unquote didn't work. They did another cut and they were down to like, I think 1,050 calories.
Wow.
And, on the edge of developing an eating disorder.
Right.
And just kept hammering this client. I heard of several versions of that. A couple versions of people getting ignored when things happen in the gym. I have here's, I dropped 120 pound snatch on my head and she didn't even walk over to check on me. Huh?
What?
Maybe they didn't see, but what in the world?
How would you not see that? It would make quite the noise.
It's a great question. I've had to do all kinds of stuff in the middle of class for injuries, including stopping classes plenty of times.
Right.
Or something happens and I tend to the injury and the class kind of naturally stops because I'm, monitoring someone having a seizure and people notice. And that's the only thing I'm paying attention to now. So all of my coaching and directing has stopped because I'm now tending to
I'm
somebody.
now not coaching. Something else is now more important.
Something far more important is happening. Another kind of ignorant thing is just around programming. There's a few people who got put on programs for hypertrophy that didn't seem to be for hypertrophy. Like, oh, she told me as long as we do 8 to 12 exercises every session, that'll work. Slash people describing basically like kind of low rest circuit training as also being for hypertrophy, which is imperfect to be sure. And they never, a lot of this is they never got an explanation. The coach just basically said, well, this is what we're doing. You said this is your goal and this is what we're doing. And it turns out with a lot of these cases, that's just what the coach does with everybody. They know that if they do a version of, kind of higher intensity circuit training, people will get sweaty and get tired and feel like they worked hard, whether or not they're actually moving toward their goals.
Right. It will feel difficult and it won't move them any closer.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a long list of what I basically put as unpleasant / poor etiquette.
Ooh.
So much eating while coaching.
Yeah.
So much eating in versions of sneaking food / one person was one person was sipping coffee and having to go to the bathroom multiple times during a session, failing to apparently see the connection. We continuing to chug coffee and continuing to go to the bathroom. But I got eating oatmeal at the desk. I got related like sneaking a vape while the client is doing tire flips.
What?
Yep. Related like being on your phone during a class. No one believes you're looking at programming. Like this is a group class and you're just doing stuff on your phone. So all that kind of doing something else you're definitely not supposed to be doing. Eating and drinking, it came up over and over and over again.
This is maybe an unpopular opinion. I don't have a problem with coaches drinking while a session is going on if it's not intrusive.
I think that's the key. I'm generally okay with it. I don't like it in your hand. Because I actually find it really distracting.
Set it down.
You're sitting there with your coffee mug the whole time and talking with your travel mug, and I'm like, bro. But just like I would with a client, like, have your water bottle off to the side. We're human beings. If you want to do a thing, oh great, you go grab that barbell. I'll get ready for you. Take a sip of water. Sure, that's cool. But coaches, I've seen so many coaches just like carrying around their travel mug and talking. I kind of think empty hands is better. Like the CrossFit land, the coaches who like with the PVC pipe, like walking around with their Gandalf staff.
Oh, I was just gonna say, okay, Gandalf.
It's like, what are you doing? Like, put it down. It's not useful. It's weird. It's distracting, and you can't do other things. Now they're like kind of demonstrating a two-headed movement where they're holding this thing. If you weren't holding that, you would be a better coach right now. Like generally, I think empty hands is the ideal.
Here's kind of a tangential comment, or question rather. What is the appropriate way to stand?
Oh man, this is like a whole show. So I prefer hands hanging at your side. I tend toward holding my hands behind my back.
I do too.
If I don't do that, I end up with my arms crossed. And I know I don't want to do that. Yeah, that's a bad look. It's bad body language. It's no good. But I'll just naturally end up here and resting here. And like I look like I'm ready to card you. So I'm actually like physically holding my wrist behind my back so that hand doesn't go somewhere else.
I do the same thing. That's actually the point at which I decided to hire a coach was when I could not do that comfortably. I was like, okay, so now I feel like a gorilla with my arms at my side, or Regina George. Time to hire support.
Yeah, but not leaning, not sitting, not doing any of that stuff.
Sure.
I don't love hands on your hips. Like I understand, but it's a little. I just look, and part of it also I think might be body type. Like I think there are people who can look perfectly fine that way, or even with like hands lightly in your pockets with the thumbs out kind of model style. Like there's people who can pull that off, and there's people who make it look lazy, or disconnected, or something like that.
Sure. To that point, I would also say I don't want to see your phone in your pocket.
I think it's a good point. Yep.
Leave it in your bag. You don't need it. Why is it on you?
That's it. Why is it there? Why do you need it? Put it down, put it somewhere else. Like,
right.
Is there a reason you have it? And if there is, I want to know about it. And I've done that. Like,
yeah,
I have
totally.
there's a family thing going on. Something might come up. That's why this is here.
Yeah.
I apologize in advance if this happens. We shall see.
Right.
And then everyone's on board and no one cares.
Right back to it. Set good expectations.
I only got this once, but it struck a nerve. Publicly shaming people for being late.
Okay.
Have you ever been somewhere where this was a thing? I have.
Yes. And I have mixed feelings about this because this is something that a gym that I was a part of used to regularly do. They would do burpee penalties. And I was very happy to enforce it until I realized, like, this is unreasonable. This is absolutely over the line. You have no idea what somebody has been up to today.
And they're grown-ups. Like,
right.
We pretty much only train grown-ups.
Right.
I think enforce it super hard, metabolic style, where they lock the door.
Right.
Like 5 o'clock class, at 5 o'clock, the front door is locked. And there is no getting in. There's no one even at the front desk anymore to open it. No one can hear you banging. I'm sorry, it's not going to work.
It's not going to happen.
Or be okay with it. And if you're not okay with it, talk to people after class, have those conversations, all of that. But calling people out in public, like, as you said, you have no idea what someone's gone through. You have no idea what happened. They could have moved, hell and high water just to get there. And they got there at 4:02 instead of 4. And you're going to make them feel bad about it when it was actually an act of heroism. It's such bad news.
Right. It's gross.
Now, related, I worked at a place once where people were publicly shamed for leaving equipment out. And the penalty was, this was a sort of an older school CrossFit gym in an industrial area. It was a big warehouse. And it happened to be the 400 loop was basically around the warehouse. It was, pretty much 400 meters.
Right.
You had to carry whatever equipment you left out.
Yeah.
One loop.
I
watched a man carry a rower 400 meters. Hi, Mike. I hope you're okay, if you're listening.
I think that feels poetic.
And it was after the fact. So it was like kind of public. But it was after someone had already left, right? Like the nature of leaving equipment out is, oh, wait, why is there a 315-pound barbell sitting in the middle of the floor?
Right.
Where's Jay?
Sure.
And Jay would get a message, and overwhelmingly it was really only done with people I thought who kind of got the joke and were in on it. I think it, like, the harried mom who was in a rush who came to class once a week, they wouldn't do it to them.
Right.
Like, they would just have a conversation about, make sure you put your equipment away, or make a group post about putting equipment away or something like that.
Right.
It was really the people who knew better and were happy to set the good example that kind of got picked on.
Sure. I appreciate that. That's in good fun.
I got up there with the super low calories. So many people getting ghosted by coaches. Getting ghosted remotely, getting ghosted mid-session, getting coaches just kind of disappearing. Multiple remote coaches just gone. Like, sometimes with different stories about what had already been paid for and what hadn't been paid for, and but
sure,
no communication about, we're not doing this anymore, or I'm not your coach. Just vanishing.
Gone. Wow, that's wild.
100%. One of the people who sent it, I'm going to obfuscate slightly to protect identities, but they are a medical professional. And this coach disappeared completely, went into another career field, and they didn't hear from them, couldn't find them until that person showed up needing their medical services. And they were like, "Hey, how you been?" That's an appropriate expression.
Wow. All right. That takes some real gusto.
Crazy. Combined with the story I got today of a coach, may have been a gym owner, I'm not sure, walking away from an in-person one-on-one session to sign up a new member who had walked in the gym or declared that they wanted to sign up.
Sure.
Of all the, I understand how that happens.
Right.
That's insane.
That's insane. There needs to be some sort of, I'm with a client. I would love to help you with this. Can I give you a call at blank?
Yeah. And it's so many of these things speak to bigger systems not being in place. Like
right.
They're kind of not being a plan and people winging every part of it. So when something unexpected comes up, it gets dealt with extremely poorly.
Right. Like I would love to have as little friction as possible in every part of my business, including it would be lovely to have somebody who handles all of the like process flow things. And if you're not at a point in your business where you can do that, hi, hello. Having just really clear communication around what you'll tolerate and when.
Yep. Yeah. Back to expectations.
That's wild. That's wild.
Yeah. Completely insane. Small thing on the poor etiquette, but it also struck a nerve. Mixing kilo plates and pound plates.
That makes the math really challenging.
It does. This came from someone who wanted those kilo plates because they compete, and there's limited kilo plates in the gym.
Right.
And they looked over, and a trainer was kind of mixing and matching. I'm guessing 20s and 20 kilograms and 45-pound plates, mixing and matching on the bar. And is it that big a deal? No. But this person competes with metal calibrated plates, and the gym has metal calibrated plates, and a bunch of them were taken for this guy squatting, but he was also using bumpers, and it was kind of a mess.
Right.
And it felt disorganized, and it got under their skin.
Sure. I think I know who submitted that.
It's possible. It's possible. Probably the biggest section under this kind of quote unquote bad trainer is I labeled compensating / incomplete coaching / unconscious incompetence. And that's a lot of stuff, I know, but it's kind of poor practices, a lot of them not done willfully badly, but kind of stuff you just shouldn't do. And this might be, if you're a trainer or coach, this may be one of the more useful sections for you.
Let's go.
Some things we've covered before. So has all the answers, never says, I don't know, never says, I'll have to find out about that. But no matter what you say, they have the answer. That should be viewed with extreme suspicion, in my point of view.
Right. Or if it's never, it depends.
Not questioning that the things that worked for that trainer or coach to get in shape, become strong, whatever, why those aren't working for your client. Like, and this is certainly so much of the influencer world, but a lot of the younger coaching world are people who went on some kind of fitness journey. It changed their life. Now they're inspired to share it with the world, but the only thing they have is their journey. Well, I did this. I did intermittent fasting and CrossFit and journaling. So everyone should do this without any understanding of why that might not work and might actually be the wrong answer. And it's they're trying. It comes from a place of passion and help, but they're wrong.
Right. Yeah. I think this can also really easily something that comes up, actually came up with a client today, was I traditionally work with women, and most of them have partners who are also in fitness in some degree, like into it. And a conversation that comes up a lot is, well, yeah, my partner, my colleague, or my former coach, whatever, didn't believe that there needed to be any kind of acknowledgement of the menstrual cycle at all. It's like, okay. Like, maybe we don't need to adjust things completely, but like, yeah, you just need to train the way that you train all the time, regardless. Like, okay, well, what if that's not possible for me?
Exactly.
Like, your experience is different, and there's no way that you possibly could know what my experience is like.
Yeah. So again, back to being curious.
Right. Yeah.
Asking the questions. Oh, and especially if you're in person, like a lot of this comes down to noticing. When someone walks through the door and they're usually bright and cheery and bouncy, and they're a little slumped over and their eyes are down and their feet are dragging, all of your spider senses should go off. Be like, well, something's up.
Right.
I don't know what it is. And it might, quote unquote, just be that they're having bad cramps. You're going to have to adjust some stuff.
Right.
Plan A is probably not exactly happening the way you thought it was going to happen.
Right. We're probably not going to heavy hip thrust today.
Yeah. Right. Because it will be incredibly uncomfortable. Don't do that. And if you don't know, ask.
Right.
Here's my plan. Does any of this seem like stuff you definitely don't want to do because you're not feeling it? It's not going to feel good. It's okay if you don't know the answer. That's fine.
Yeah.
This is how we get answers. Ask the questions.
Right. You can't get answers to questions you don't ask.
Sort of related, people basically projecting their own insecurities onto fitness. So like judging someone's athletic ability or what they can do by the way they look.
Sure.
Judging what level that person can potentially perform at, whether they should be doing X weightlifting program or X gymnastics program or X competitive program or whatever, because of the way they look, having no understanding of their potential performance.
Right.
Lots of stuff about being coaches kind of being too technical, like being an awesome technical coach, but not knowing how to talk to people. Several people wrote in about basically coaches using lots of jargon / science / exercise science words,
right,
which are usually unnecessary and often kind of a smokescreen for, I don't really know, but if I tell you enough about insertions and use words like distal and medial, then you'll start assuming that I know what I'm talking about.
Right. I'll sound smart, and so you'll believe me.
Mm-hmm. Coaches getting obsessed with one modality. Coaches suddenly, they got a certification and now everyone should definitely be doing, this kind of neurological eye exercise, or this kind of, everyone needs to do shoulder cars because cars are the most important thing, or whatever the thing is, like, ooh, I have a new tool in my toolbox. Everyone suddenly gets this tool with apparently no regard for if it's actually going to move the needle for them.
That's like CrossFit seminar continuing education.
All the time. People come back and it's suddenly like you start hearing this like language or these two cues and you're like, did you watch a video or read a book or something? What happened?
Yeah.
Like, where'd this come from?
Did you go to the gymnastics seminar? Is that it?
And there were I'm going through, there's so many of these, but basically like people not understanding how to program for injury, for hypermobility, for pregnant people, for postpartum people, for not having any ability or knowledge or experience programming outside of their own experience.
Right.
And thusly not being a great fit to work with all kinds of people. And if you only want to work with, 46-year-old dudes who are a little jacked and want to be more jacked and want to run a marathon, that's fine.
Right.
But
that's fine.
Don't take on the 22-year-old woman who wants to get in shape and lose a little weight, because that's a different thing and it's not going to work.
Right. Know your blind spots and don't sell to them.
Exactly. Several people basically have versions of being told that the client's / member doesn't want it enough. Oh, you're not motivated enough. You don't want it enough. That the reason this isn't working is somehow you don't desire to be in shape despite the money and the performance and you showing up and all of that stuff.
You just don't want it bad enough.
Such projection.
Well, you clearly don't want my money bad enough. Goodbye.
I heard a couple versions of, you have the fill in the blank of a fill in the blank year old. My favorite one I got was a physical therapist being told, I think they might have been shadowing. They might not have been, they're a PT now. I don't know if they were then or not.
Okay.
But they were told by another PT that they have the hips of a 70-year-old. What
does that even mean?
Someone in the early 30s. Well, exactly. First of all, like,
this is a meaningless statement.
At the time this was said, and some people will figure this out, but I have to say it because I think it makes the point. At the time this was said, the person it was said to was squatting over 550 pounds in competition. Could power clean 300 plus pounds. And we're told that their hips, like, it's garbage. And they're left completely disempowered. And you'd imagine someone with that kind of performance and strength, where you and I can look at it and be like, well, that's fucking ridiculous. Like, of course you don't. But that kind of, and I've heard it, you have the back of an 80-year-old. Oh, you have the knees of a 65-year-old. Oh, you have, and it's meaningless, completely disempowering. And people carry that stuff with them because
dude,
it gets in your brain. That's such a simple, direct statement that people kind of understand, and they take it with them. Like, oh, well, I can't, most 65-year-olds like can't run marathons. That's why I can't run, even though I'm 28.
Right.
No, my whoever ortho told me I have the knees of a 65-year-old. It's like, did they explain what that means? Like, oh, bone on bone. Well, did they explain what that means? Well, no. Okay.
No. Would you like me to help you uncover that?
When's the last time it hurt? Oh, it doesn't really hurt at all. Okay.
Great.
Do you want to try a return to run program and see how it works?
Right.
Or we can sit around with this awful thing that was said to you 3.5 years ago lurking in your brain.
I think that's an important tangent, is coaches being really aware of the statements that come out of your mouth. Right? Like, to that point, when I was still CrossFitting proper, this must have been 2016. It was the Open, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And in my life prior to this Open workout, I'd done 2 ring muscle ups. They were both in a competition against somebody who I really hated. I did them mostly out of spite.
Pure adrenaline.
Pure adrenaline.
Spite muscle ups.
Spite muscle ups. And this workout in the Open had ring muscle ups in it.
Mm-hmm.
And my judge said to me, hey, just remember, if you don't get it the first time, you're probably not going to. And so I didn't get my first rep, and it ruined the whole workout, the whole Open. I remember going outside and like walking maybe 400 meters away and just sitting down on somebody else's stairs and like weeping.
Yep.
And I still remember it almost a decade later.
That I have several examples of this, and I've had other people tell me these things, and so many of them are offhand comments.
Right.
So many of them are not, moments the coach picked as like, this is going to have an impact. I need to say this to this person.
Right.
But it's these offhanded things of like, oh, that's why you look like that. Huh? What? And it works both ways. I had, I'll never forget this was when I was coaching CrossFit. A member who'd been there for like a year and a half, 2 years, and had gotten a job and was leaving, and let me know. It was like, oh, by the way, like today's my last day. Like, I'm actually moving tomorrow. I was like, oh, that's so sad. Okay. It's been an honor to coach you and all of those things. And it was someone I saw, on a semi-regular basis. I knew who they were, and they'd gotten stronger and had a great time. They came up to me after class to say goodbye again and just exploded into tears. And I was very surprised. Like, hey, would you like a hug? Yes. And we hugged. And she told me a story about when she was very new at the gym and had been like sitting against a wall and kind of looking around and feeling lost and not feeling like she fit in. And I walked over and sat down next to her and talked to her.
Wow.
Don't remember it.
Right.
I was just doing Justin stuff.
Right.
And it had such an impact. That's what kept her there the whole time. And she was devastated to be leaving. Like,
wow.
You have an impact on people all the time. Pay attention to what you do and what comes out of your stupid mouth.
Right. Yeah. Because harm without malice is still harm.
Well said. Another one, and this comes from another competitive person, but their coach being on gear and not being transparent about it, being on steroids, steroid related things, promoting all of these gains and all of these methods, and not saying, oh, and I take a bunch of Anavar, by the way, or I take a bunch of testosterone, or I take a bunch of, there's lots of stuff. And yes, I do put testosterone in the steroid category. If it is not a medically needed dose, you are not on TRT, you are on TET. You are on testosterone enhancement therapy, which is do whatever you want, man. It's fine. But don't tell people that your cool macro plan and your awesome incline sit-up plan is what's getting you these gains. It's part of it, but you also are inserting needles into yourself every single day.
This brings up the Ozempic debate too.
Sure, legit. And I think that's a legit debate. And I think it's important as someone who's a big supporter of people, the right people being on it.
Right. Totally.
Also can't stand when people are like, oh, like these 3 weird hacks help me lose 80 pounds. And they don't mention a GLP-1 being part of it. Is it the whole thing? No. Did you work super hard? Yes. Is it part of the story? Yes.
Right.
And the same thing, like you giving people a plan that is designed for someone else and leaving important parts of that plan out isn't fair. And then that person can make a decision as a grown-up if they want to do it, or if they want to do steroids, if they want to do. I'm kind of neutral on like grown-ups doing stuff to themselves that doesn't hurt other people and they aren't being taken advantage of. But I think it's unfair to. You're basically selling a product with a pretty misleading story.
Sure. Agreed.
Last section is weird, and there's fewer of these, but they were fun.
Okay, great. I can't wait.
A couple of things were easy one, and I don't know if this is weird or something else, but very inappropriate music. And I got things like very loud music or tons of like super questionable lyrics, things that are making people raise their eyebrows. And like why would we play this in a setting like this kind of thing?
Inappropriate.
Several versions of people doing weirdo exercises, like weird combo exercises. I got one, a trainer balancing on a 3-foot exercise ball while doing leg exercises in the middle of an extremely crowded gym.
What?
So circus trick show off stuff in a super crowded gym, and you're at work, combined with not pointless, but not the most efficacious weird combo exercises, like the back extension with the row, with the twist, there's so many things that people just want to throw another thing in. Like, while we're doing lunges, maybe we should press it at the same time too. Like, well, I mean,
like novelty.
Maybe. Why? Yeah, exactly.
Novelty. Yeah.
Like goofy for goofy's sake. If you can explain it to me, there's lots of goofy exercises that have a reason.
Right.
The Instagram thing I'm thinking about right now is the woman standing on the edge of the treadmill, kind of running with one hand down. And then you never know what someone's training for. And it flashes to, oh, she's on the bobsled team. And she's actually training to run in this hunched position while anchored to an object. There's lots of reasons to do lots of stuff. But pretty much anytime I see someone on a Bosu ball, I'm deeply suspicious. Like, what are you doing? Or weird plyometric push-up stuff. Like, maybe, but what are you doing?
Maybe, like, if it's like a one-legged stand and we're training balance, but like the moment that you're on a ball doing anything other than just trying to keep yourself steady on the ball, suspicious.
Squatting on a super unstable surface.
Why? For what?
Mountain climbers are doing like all this stuff. We're like, yeah, it's hard, but is it effective?
Is it effective?
These are two different questions. Last one, well, it's kind of two, but it came up a few times, and it's super personal stuff. And it was asking extremely personal questions. And I take it as a surprise or when they're unwarranted, / venting loudly about your personal life to clients. And I have heard that last one several times. I used to work in a place, there was one coach especially who would like complain pretty loudly about his wife and his neighbors and all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
And it was wild. And the client may have liked it, or they might have been buddies. But all the people, my clients who I was working with, would be like, that guy sounds like he's having a really hard life. And so now I know you're being completely distracted by this guy scream shouting about his personal woes in the middle of a gym. And I'm really trying to work on this thing that happened with your hip labrum. Like, man, this is terrible.
And you can't find a way to reorient out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything you think I missed? The good, the bad, the weird. We don't need to call anyone out by name, of course. Oh, I have one. Yeah, and this is bad / weird, but I've been present for it. Is how do I say this? Coaches obviously being romantically interested in members / clients.
Sure. Or in other coaches.
Yes.
Yeah. Or it gets even trickier if it's like an owner pursuing coach.
Oh, God. Yes.
Like, I've got to choose between my job and you.
Gross.
Yeah.
I've witnessed multiple classes where I was like, that person's sure getting a lot of coaching. That person who seems just fine is getting a ton of coaching. And this other person who maybe is less sort of traditionally attractive is getting a lot less coaching.
Little less attention.
That keeps happening over and over again in every class. I see this person.
Right. Or like, why is this person getting all this tactile cueing when somebody else doesn't?
Gross. Yep.
Ugh.
I think I cut you off though. That was just something that came up from me. Anything else on your list?
No, I think that's a big one. I think in general, if you are single in the gym, just be cool. Like, I don't think I need to elaborate on that. It can create such a weird power dynamic imbalance if there's a coach client or owner coach owner client dynamic. And I understand that there are some really beautiful love stories buried within this paradigm.
Mm-hmm.
And there are probably 9 times as many like ick. Ugh,
yeah.
gross.
I worked at a place that had, it was in the contract we signed that, it was against the rules. And there was an addendum in there. If you break these rules and anything at all happens, you are agreeing to tell the owner immediately. Like, you can't do this. And if you do, you have to tell me about it immediately. In that context, a coach dated, wooed, married a client. They have several lovely kids now. They love their life. It totally happened. That happened. Lots of other terrible things happened that didn't work out and left people angry and feeling like they couldn't come to the gym and feeling they'd been taken advantage of. And guys, come on.
Yeah. I can't think of anything. I'm sure I will later. But we talked about a lot of good, bad, and weird.
I think it's a decently exhaustive list. If people out there, if anything is coming up for you, we would love to hear from it, and we will certainly bring it up on later episodes. Pardon me. But I got so many stories from people, and every time someone sent me a story, I think pretty much I was like, wait, I need more.
Wait.
Tell me more. What else is going on?
Right. I need some more context.
Some crazy stuff happening out there.
Right. Yeah. Okay, here's one that's coming up for me. Not just that you are appropriately clothed in quantity to what could be generally construed as appropriate, but that also your clothing is clean and you are presentable. You smell nice. You're obviously groomed. Right? You haven't just rolled out of your own workout and into my session.
I hate that. Yeah. Professional appearance. Yep. Clean. Smell good. Obviously groomed. Super important.
Right. You don't need to look like a doctor.
No. But you shouldn't be sweaty. You shouldn't be gross. You shouldn't be. I have missed more workouts in my life because I was like, I screwed my schedule up.
Yeah.
And I have a client 2 hours from now.
Right.
Which means I can't work out right now because I'm a little heat machine and it takes me 40 minutes to cool off and stop sweating. And I won't be done sweating by the time they show up. And that means I have to work out after them or push it.
Right. This is actually a big reason that I have recently pivoted my own workout schedule to 6 a.m., which I would really prefer not to do.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but my work days are busy enough. And we had gotten into a really good habit of training together in the evenings, but the evenings have gotten more busy with kid stuff.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of consistently falling by the wayside. I don't work at home. Ted does. He can break away for a 30-minute workout at home. And so rather than say, okay, well, I'm going to have this 90-minute block in my day, but I'll have a client after that and potentially be nasty for that.
Yeah.
And all up in their space, cueing them. Unacceptable. Have to do something else. It has to change.
Yeah. And it's the kind of thing, so many of these things are things that clients, members, athletes may not say something to you, but they notice. And they might not even consciously notice.
Sure.
But they're like, this isn't great. this feels disorganized. This is like
Right.
all of the things we've talked about put together to make it feel not very nice and not very valuable, and
Right.
certainly not something they should be prioritizing in their lives.
Right. And spending what a trainer would consider a livable wage on.
Yeah, all kinds of money.
Mm.
Which is maybe a separate discussion. Some of these things come up because the reason people aren't professional is because they're not professionals and they're making $17 a session
right
before taxes. And
right
that doesn't mean any of this is acceptable, but it does mean that it's harder to set those kinds of standards and
right
expect things from people.
well right particularly if you're a gym owner and you're asking your coaches to be held to a high standard, you then have to also pay them to a high standard. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's time for a segment.
Wonderful. I'm so glad. I have for you today, Would You Rather?
Excellent.
This is also crowdsourced a little bit, but I did not put this on social media. I just asked people as I interacted with them in the real world in the gym. Okay. So would you rather gym edition from people I encountered over the last week?
Great. I'm in.
Would you rather max out to polka music or in complete silence?
Polka music if I can have the Weird Al versions.
No.
I might go silence then.
What if there are people heavy breathing all around you, also in silence?
Back to polka.
Excellent. Would you rather have painful calluses that are too thick and you cannot possibly shave them? Like you don't have access to that.
Okay.
Or a non-painful but very bloody ripped callus?
I think I have to go with the painful callus because I can't stand creating, because bleeding on stuff is so terrible for everyone else also. Like,
it's terrible for everyone.
On things around people. I'll just suck it up.
Wow, that's very chivalrous of you. I'll just personally be in pain rather than inconvenience somebody else.
I'll take it.
This one is my favorite. Would you rather have sweat constantly in your eyes and it like stings, doesn't feel good, or your sock is perpetually stuck between two toes?
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to go with the sock because I think I would be able to deal with it better. Like, kind of not being able to see and being stinging all the time is going to be
and like
so
constantly.
Exactly. And like, this might also come from the fact, like, I'm a sweaty dude and I'm a little self-conscious about like how much I sweat and the mess I could potentially leave and that kind of stuff. So I'm sort of used to that.
You're gonna suck it up.
Change.
Okay, last one, best one. You ready?
Great. Yes.
Would you rather have fecal incontinence on a run day or fecal incontinence on a heavy squat day?
Squat day, because on a run day, I don't know where I'm going to be. And if I'm in the middle of a bridge, squat day, I'm at least like, it's just easy. I'm not happy about it, but it's way easier to deal with. Right.
You're in a somewhat contained you're in a somewhat contained environment.
Yeah. I can limit intensity on either, but I definitely have access to a bathroom on squat day.
Sure. Okay. Wonderful. This has been my segment. Would you rather?
I appreciate it. That was great. I want to hear more from people. If you have your fitness would you rather, send them in.
We'd love a challenge.
Yeah, completely. I think that's all we got. Anything else on your mind about coaching, training trainers?
No, I hope that this was helpful.
Yeah.
I say after having not prepared anything for it.
But that was it, right? That's part of like this thing is we're bringing a subject and saying, hey, I did some work, or I crowdsourced, or I did some research.
Right.
Let's get into it and see how you feel about it.
Right.
And it will not, I don't really know what order these are coming out in. I don't know if we have decided yet, but we are not necessarily crowdsourcing for everything, but I do really enjoy getting lots of other perspectives
Yes.
Especially if I'm coming in to, shoot my mouth off about this is how people should do things. I love hearing other versions from people. The stuff
right.
they like and don't like.
I'm open to the possibility that I'm wrong about everything.
Yeah. And or there's
Like-
huge things I just haven't experienced yet. Like,
right.
Oh,
right.
that never even occurred to me. Oh, vaping. I don't think about vaping because I don't vape or I don't really hang
Right.
out with people who vape that I know about. So that being an issue hasn't come up yet.
Right. So if you're somebody out there listening or watching this and have no idea where that sentence was going.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Write in, tag us, find us on social media, do the things, let us know, send a letter,
Good grief.
figure it out. Most
Carrier
of the
pigeon.
mediums will work. I'm Justin McClintock for Weezy Shoemaker. This has been Training Partners. We'll see you on the next one.
Excellent.
Done and done. Friends, Romans, countrymen. I got nothing.
I got nothing.
I don't know.
My brain went blank. It's like, what would be a good word to say next? I have no idea.
We're definitely leaving that in.
Great.
Here come your training partners, so smart, so strong, so funny. Let's go with your training partners. We're ready to shine together.